Hi there, Felipe here, your crazy creative designer from Germany. It is raining like crazy. The world is coming down. Please pray for me. Not sure if I'm going to survive today. So, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you find some value from this video. Would be very appreciated. I talk about design and in management and business. As I am a creative designer here in Germany, and yeah, maybe you can find something that you like on my channel, so take a peek. And yeah, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about to template or not to template. It's a tricky question, and I've heard a lot of feedback from my colleagues and from other designers and from developers, and I'm going to be dividing this into two segments. First, we're going to be talking about templates for Webflow, which is what I use mostly for complex websites and unique websites. And then we're going to be talking about Shopify templates, which I use for e-commerce most of the time. There's also WordPress here and there, but I basically don't work with it anymore these days. I just don't want to. I'm not going to get into like Squarespace or Wix. That's not, that's not what I do. That's not what I work with. It's just, no. Okay, so anyhow, question is, what is a template? A template, first of all, is basically a mode, a foundation of a design and development framework that you can use on the website to showcase your website. So basically, instead of beginning on an empty, just imagine this: you have two sheets of paper. On the left side, the sheet of paper is completely empty. It's a blank page. There's nothing on it. And then on the right side, you get it from your girlfriend, and she's already done some drawings, and she's written a couple of messages, and you have to build on top of it. So basically, you get pre-built components, sections, pre-chosen fonts, pre-chosen colors. So you get a pillar or a foundation for to continue development, to continue design based on this foundation. There are advantages and disadvantages as everything in life, of course. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you why you should mostly not work with templates. Definitely not work with templates, in my opinion, at least, in my workflow and for the type of output that I want to do. Templates can be practical here and there, of course, naturally. But let's get into this. Let's segment this. And let's take a peek at what I mean. Let's go through the pros and cons, and then you can decide for yourself what you think about it at the end of the day. So I'm gonna get started with Webflow. Let me share my screen first. I'm gonna show you what we can do there. Okay, so if you're new to Webflow, maybe take a peek at the basics of Webflow, and if you want, do visit my course. I have a full Webflow course, over 20 hours of video, 20 hours of material. You can find it. I'll put it in the description below. It's in German right now, but you do have CCs if you want to hear it in English or in whatever language you prefer. And it's very thorough, and it's also for beginners. If you're new to it, if you want to get started with Webflow, do check it out. I'll put it in the description below. Thank you. So this is the Webflow dashboard, right? And this is where I can see the different projects that I have. You can check out templates on Webflow. Let's go to Marketplace, and then let's go here to templates. There you go. So what is cool about that is that they have different categories as well. They have a major or a main search functionality here. And you can browse all categories, and you can find different types of templates from dark mode to white mode, and to from free themes, free templates. Themes are templates in Webflow, and themes is just the term on Shopify, but it's the same thing. So you can find also free and cheaper and more expensive themes depending on what you're looking for and what the capabilities are. So as you can see, we get like popular template categories, so different categories. And you have to keep in mind that those are not fixed. They're not like set in stone. It's just a suggestion. Maybe one theme from retail is going to be perfect for your portfolio. or another one from blog and editorial, it's going to be fantastic to sell coconuts, So it depends on what you make of it. Okay, it's just a notion. It's just a starting point to check them out and see what you think and see the similarities and differences, and then at the end of the day, think about what you really need. So let's just choose. Let's take this Pulsara. I like the way it looks. It looks like. So if I click on that, you have the Pulsara website template. It's sort of like, as you can see, a little technology, astronomy. It's like dark and moody, and works well probably with technology apps or technology sites, because there is something we call convergence, and convergence is when looks and development start to look the same, or visuals and development begin to look the same more and more, according to industry, according to niche, according to the type of products that people sell. For example, if you take a look at different supplement stores selling the same product, today, every day, there's more and more convergence, which means things are going to start looking the same, like in terms of the color use, in terms of the layout use, in terms of the sales psychology, in terms of the font, in terms of the placement, in terms of style, etc., etc. And of course, that's generally rooted in reason, because there are particular reasons why we have this color or that color, or this font or that font. And that's all based in psychology, human psychology, and sales psychology. But that's just a starting point. And you have to keep in mind that everybody has access to templates. So anybody can go here and they can buy the template for $130, and their site is going to look exactly like your site. And the question is, do you want it? I don't want that. I sure as shit don't want it. And this is where the main drawbacks begin. But this is also the starting point where you can argue and you can say, hey, but I can customize this template up to the point where it looks quite different, and you're right about that. But there are some constraints that we have to deal with, and most people, they have no idea what they're doing in terms of creating a custom design, which is why we have creative designers, such as myself, which is why I also work with developers who know what they're doing much more than I do. So this is the first point to keep in mind. Everybody has access to the same templates, and they can make their website, their presentation, their entire brand look exactly like yours in just a couple of clicks. I would be pissed, to be honest. But yeah, okay. So let me show you how it looks like in Webflow. We get the preview, so we can check it out in the browser. So the live version, the example of the light version, and they have the different demos here, the different about us sections. So we can choose like home too, okay? And as you can see, they have a pre-filled design. And basically, if you wanted to, you could mess with the text and insert your content, insert your logo, insert your colors, images, and you're good to go, right? That's the idea for template. On Webflow, you still have to pay attention to a lot of stuff. It's not like an easy web builder like Wix or Framer or Squarespace, where you do have to pay attention to a lot of stuff, even when you're working with a template. Especially if you're trying to get one or two things different, sometimes it's even more work to make them different instead of designing them from scratch, So let me show you how it looks like in the Webflow habitat. So yeah, okay, so this is like the live version of this theme in the state that it is, in the state that you buy for. And if we go back, Jesus, I should have opened a couple of tabs. I'm just going to go back again. There you go. In Webflow, you similar to Shopify, actually, you can preview it in the builder, so which is pretty cool. So I can open here preview in Webflow, and I can see how the entire thing is actually built. So if I wanted to, as an experienced Webflow creative dev does, I could actually completely recreate this theme with my framework, based on what I can read here, based on the construction that I can see here. Of course, that wouldn't be ethical, and I don't do that shit. But there are people who do that. Please don't do that. Please, it might be, might cause you trouble afterwards. Also in terms of copyright, but ethically, it's just come on, man. You don't do that. Use it as inspiration if you want, but okay. So, so you have access to everything that they've built. They have the sections and they have the base containers, and you can go here and you can start, changing the landing banner image, just using. So these are the assets that come pre-filled, right? The assets, you can find all the assets here. I can just use another image here, and then I can go to the text, and then blah blah blah. This is not being saved because I have to. It's a template I have to buy, but in general, I can see how it looks like, right? If I want to before buying, and I can check out all the animations, and it's all done. It's all ready to go, and that's what you get. And then you also get different pages. There are one-pager templates as well, but that's it. Okay, so I told you about number one trouble with templates. And this is still, in my opinion, the major trouble. You are an individual. Your brand should be individual. Your visuals should be individual. To you, nobody does it as you do. So think again of the fact that everybody has access to this. Anybody can make it look exactly the same as you. They can copy your entire foundation just like that. So think about that. Number two, even if you want to customize a couple of things here, sometimes it's not always as easy as just, like changing text or changing colors. Let's see, for example, the paragraph large here. It has a couple of combo classes. If you're new to Webflow, please check out my course first. I'm assuming you know a little bit about Webflow by this point. Otherwise, just skip to the Shopify section if you prefer. So you have a couple of combo classes, and let's say you want to change the spacing, right? You want to create like 140 pixels here. That's fine because there's only one instance of this combo class here, as you can see here, one on the page. But if we go to another one where we have several instances, like say the primary button, that's not a component here for whatever reason. Let me just see the animation to check that out quickly. I'm a curious boy. So, okay, good. So let's say you wanted to add some margin to that. You add it on the top. I'll just add 20 pixels. Nothing happened for some reason. Let's say 555. There you go. Now you can see it. But given the fact that this is a class that is present 7 times on this page alone and 49 the other pages, if you wanted just to customize this, then obviously you would have to add a custom class such as this custom, So you have to understand how Webflow works to change minimal things, which is, I don't know if that's the purpose of making it easier. Let me think. So problem number 3 is there's no consistency. There is no prescribed system that every template has to build on top of. So that includes style guide, for instance. That includes units for another instance. Just 1 second. There you go. So that includes units, and that includes combo classes and naming systems. So the way I create websites with Webflow is completely different from what I see here, for example. For example, if I go here to content banner home 1, okay, this class right there. Or actually, let's start with, they have a container. They use a base container, which is the Webflow element for a container right there, which has a maximum of, I don't remember how, maximum of 940 pixels. And I have no idea why they use the pre-built container. Generally, it's like it limits you. So it's always going to be 940 pixels unless you change it, which is what they do here with the maximum width of 100%. But why do you use the element? I don't get it. You should use a div instead of it. That's it, and set your own container. So that doesn't make sense to me. Or for example, the class name, it has an empty space. I generally like to work with hyphens, So this This is how it would look like in my framework, for instance. Same as well here, they have like a huge name that's a no-go. But for example, let me show you something else. For example, if I take a look at this, right, the image content banner home. No, sorry, that one. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to look at. Content banner home. So as you can see, they're working with 80 pixels, 180 pixels, 140 pixels. So they're working with pixels pretty much everywhere I can see. Yeah. And this is, for fluid design. Well, it's generally not recommended for responsive design, let alone fluid design. That's an entire different beast. So you're going to see lots of templates work with pixels for whatever reason, at least work with rems, or, you should actually use a combination of units to achieve the results you're looking for. Like just pixels, which is what I see here, is generally not responsive. And then you might run into lots of issues when you're trying to make it responsive. Can work, of course. Yeah, like some templates are incredibly responsive. That's fine, but maybe you're gonna create unnecessary issues that you wouldn't by using different units or a different combination of units. Yeah. And number 4, it's like if you choose a template, it limits your site, your creative site, because you're caught in the design that you get, or you can get caught in the design that you get. Okay, so a blank page can be challenging, but it offers numerous, endless possibilities. While this is a framework that is already set with visuals, it creates an impression in your mind that might be difficult to see away from if you're looking to create something unique. So 4 major problems that I see. Everybody has access to it. It's not unique. Even with customizing little things can go wrong. Lack of consistency across templates and systems. And what was the last thing I said? Oh yeah, and constraining or pre-constraining your creativity before you actually get started. Okay. The pluses are naturally it's fast. You can get started fast. They're cheap on Webflow. They're relatively cheap. They give you a starting point, and there's some great templates out there which you can use. So they're fast and cheap, and that's the way to go if that's what you're looking for. All right, so enough of on Webflow. I think I wanted to talk about much more than this, but let's go quickly to let's take a look at Shopify. Okay, so Shopify is a little different in that I generally do work with a theme or starting point. I use a theme as a starting point because Shopify infrastructure, Shopify is made to sell, right? Shopify is it's a shop system. And so the infrastructure of creating an entire shop design structure from zero is generally not what the customer is looking for, or what the Shopify customer is looking for. And it's also maybe not the best for designers, because Shopify has design limits as opposed to Webflow, right? That's the thing. Webflow gives you endless possibilities, and Shopify doesn't, or not natively. And so we have a compromise in Shopify. We can pick a template to start with and then customize those templates. Of course, there are people who do the same as on Webflow. Or what I told you, they take the template, they change images and icons and names and text, and they call it a day, which is not what makes up a brand. And I'll give you an example here. So, for example, the every Shopify store comes with a pre-built free theme, which is the Dawn theme. Okay, so we can take a look at the Dawn theme, how it looks like. So it's basically a template with this comes from my product, but generally shouldn't even be there. But this is a template, the starting point for every shop on Shopify. And there are people who just take this and they call it a day, and they change the title and name, etc. And they think you're good to go, So obviously that's not the case, but it's like a canvas, like with different structure and functionality. The difference as well here is you do have pre-built components, so to speak, or which sections which corresponds to components on Webflow. But you can also custom code a lot of stuff if you want. But yeah, you get a starting point, and there are unethical and scrupulous and so-called designers who take a template and they do exactly what I said. They just exchange the content and they say that's a finished template, which is not the case. So the compromise on Shopify is we choose a good template to start with, and at least in my projects and in my quality level, which I hope I can keep it forever or increase, it is just a scaffold, an empty skeleton, which I build on top of. And for that, let me show you an example. My most current example. So this theme right here, this template right here called Colibri Backup, this is already based on a custom theme that I created with a colleague of mine. So this is already custom in terms of layout, in terms of structure, order, hierarchy, font. So this is already looks very, very different from standard Shopify themes, because as I said, it's been custom made by me and a colleague. So this is the way it looks like our already highly customized template. And I used this template yesterday to create a new brand, which is called the Colibri Memories, which is this one. And I got done with the basic design today. And so the live store that I have, I will even link it in the description below if you want to take a look. It's my brand. It's something I like to do. It was based on this theme, on this template. But let me show you how it looks like in the already pre-built theme that was already customized. Okay, that's the way it looks like. Okay, and let me compare it to the version that I designed. Let's go here, and voila, there you go. Okay, so this is the homepage. Show you Colibri Memories, Colibri, So this is the homepage that I created. Voila, little bit of me, little FAQ, and voila. Let's just do a quick compare with the old template. There you go. 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 Right. So, unless you know about it, I think you're not going to be able to tell that it was based on that. So it's just a starting point, but at the end of the day, in my projects, they look completely different because I like to customize them, because it has to be individual to you, to your brand, to your product. You are an individual, and that should be reflected in everything that you do, everything that you say, and everything that you sell. So yeah, just as an example, I wanted to show you guys. It's a basic design, but yeah, that's the job, I think, I hope. I just wanted to show the comparison. So yeah, on Shopify, we make that sacrifice, we make the compromise because of Shopify's limited capabilities in terms of design, and because it's made to sell, not for, impossible designs such as Webflow. So yeah, there are over 800 themes on the Shopify theme store, also by category, etc. Same thing goes, maybe like those are not predefined. You have to find a theme where you can see. They all differ in technical capabilities, functions, So you have to pick a theme where you can see it being part of the business you're working in, or it being adequate for, for your business, for your brand, for your niche. All right. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to rant about. Excuse me for making it so long, but it's a very, very interesting topic. So I hope you understood the drawbacks, but also the pluses of working with themes on Shopify and Webflow. It was a deeper dive in Webflow, I understand, but I think Shopify can be summarized a little faster the way I put it. And but I still hope it makes sense. I'll link this Colibri store below if you want to take a peek at it. I'll link my Webflow course below if you want to take a peek at that, and also my studio sites. So thank you for watching. I would appreciate a like and subscribe if you found some value. Otherwise, have the best of all days. I'll see you next time. Cheers. Thanks a lot.